talking about what you
Yes. We have a piece of paper that has it. That piece of paper doesn't. It changes throughout the week, but it really doesn't change. We may place things in different spots. By the end of the week, I got that thing memorized pretty good, so I know where they're at. We don't do anything on wristbands. It's all silent. So, it goes from me in my head to the hand signal to Brandon, and he's got to communicate it to the rest of them.
So if you reflect back on the first couple of weeks of September, how much more now do you think Brandon maybe knows what you're going to do in advance and you can move it?
Almost to the point where if it doesn't make complete sense to him, he panics a little bit. And what I mean by that, if it's not something that we practiced all week, then he thinks twice about it. And on one of that third down where we're 3 and outed, I signaled a play that we had to work that week. And he had to think twice about it, and he thought I was wrong with the signal because we hadn't worked it. So he's got that paper memorized too, and he knows, I can pretty much get through half my signal, and he knows what it's going to be.
You look at baseball manager coach.
Yeah.
You change him up a little bit.
Yeah. Which that was, we had some busted assignments last week based on some signals, based on changing some signals. I hesitate to change signals sometimes, but you got to keep constantly changing it because defensive coaches obsess over that. And they film you and they study it and they talk to other coaches about signals. And I don't pick defensive coaches' signals because I think it's a waste of time. But I know defensive coaches try to pick my signals, so they just try to change them.
You've seen a lot of different Texas teams. Can you see some differences in this one? I mean, what's happened to those guys?
I just see one side. I've always just seen one side. And they defensively they look the same to me as they always do. They got good speed in the secondary. They got linemen that can fill gaps and rush the pass with the linebackers. Guys that can run and rush and cover. So they look the same to me defensively. Their numbers look the same defensively. I can't speak for the other two sides.
I understand the fields, the gridiron's the same everywhere, but in a ballpark that's more than twice the size of any other you guys have played in this season, just the enormity of it, does that affect guys? Obviously not play calling or anything, but I mean, does it take a little while for a Joseph Randall to get acclimated to a place of that size?
I don't know why it would. Once you're, noise isn't going to be a factor because we're all silent anyway, so that's not going to have anything to do with any kind of communication issues or cadence issues. Aside from the noise level, what's different? There may be a few more bodies out there or whatever, but if you're focused in on the game, then none of that's going to matter. We've played 3 road games. Kansas State was fairly hostile. That was a hostile, different environment for us. It didn't affect us. Tech was a hostile. We quieted them pretty quick, but it was still a road game in the Big 12. That's the only thing I can base it on. There's a lot of guys that are on this team that traveled down to Austin 2 years ago and played them pretty tough. Right?
So. With the BCS ranking, what it is now, your AP ranking, you're starting to get more and more national play. It's all kind of coming to a crest. So do you have to work even harder in practice to keep them humbled and do you even make an extra effort to chew a guy out or correct a guy? You know what I mean? Just to keep them grounded and to remind them, hey,
yeah.
You don't have this perfected quite yet.
No, which they found out in the third quarter that when we were up 35 points and we fumbled and then we 3 and outed, and I was extremely pissed. So they kind of know what to expect from me when it doesn't look good. They tell them it doesn't look good. They shouldn't ever feel like they got things figured out. That's for sure. Because you do, that's when you get beat. Now, I think Coach Gunny did a great job on yesterday. It's the same people that said we were going to win 5 that are telling us that we're good now. It's the same stuff. So you just got to treat it all the same. You got to treat it like, it's the next game. And the one thing that I think we've done a really good job of this year is just worry about ourselves. get into a routine of game week. They know what to expect. It doesn't matter who we play. We're going to worry about ourselves and try to get a week better. I think they bought into that.
It just seems like your trip from obscurity to where you are now has been little baby steps until this weekend, and then it's like all of a sudden, bam! You're 10th in the BCS.
Yeah, which hopefully they don't pay any attention to it. It's good. It's a good exposure for the program, that's for sure. You can talk about how rankings don't matter, but the truth of the matter is they do. It's good notoriety for your program. It's good for recruiting. It's good for fan base and all the rest. So we're happy that we're there. Our job as coaches is to get them back into a routine and prep them to go play a game.
Most of what you got though for 2011 in recruiting is set. You only got a couple spots.
Still got to hang on to them. You know how recruiting.
Isn't maintenance a lot easier when you're
without a doubt? Maintenance is much
in a
easier
good
when you're
role.
winning. Without a doubt. It's still hard though. Everybody else is trying to recruit too.
But all right, so for 2012, Dana, is this opening doors maybe that weren't open prior?
I would think so. We'll find out in January. That's kind of when it gets started.